Alright, so today we're gonna learn how to make a kind of a camp stove out of a helium tank. First thing you do is got to get a hole in it. I shot one in there with a BB gun. Found this little cap, figured I was going to put the chimney right here, so I'm not too worried about there being a hole there. See, I missed once. Tried to get it here, thought I could put it here with a 90 or something, but ended up going right there. So I'm going to drill that out using a 3-inch hole saw with a new arbor bit. Got a Milwaukee for actually 447. It's normally 1437. They had mislabeled the product on the shelf, so I'll come back as soon as that's done. Alright, so you can see I got the hole where the chimney's going to go in here. It'll be, well, let me just show you. Here's the last one that I did. It's going to be one of these chimney pipes. I don't know what they're for. I just saw them in Home Depot. This is a 90-degree bend that you can actually adjust to different degrees. And I think that's a 3-foot piece of pipe with a vent cap. That's a 3 inches, 3 foot tall. So that's what's going to go in the hole there. So now we're back here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get this off without breaking it. I'm going to try to cut it down the middle here and make 2 legs. This is going to sit like this on the ground. I'm going to try to use these with some tech screws in here, some self-tapping screws. Sorry about the camera work. Self-tapping screws go in here, and they're going to mount on this side. This will be the bottom right here. So we'll see about that. I got a angle grinder. Where's my angle grinder at? Right here. Right here. Just using a Love Milwaukee. Best tools around. Got a cutting wheel for that. So I'm going to put that on and try to get underneath here and cut that. I'll bend these up. They bend pretty easy there. So come back when that's done. Hopefully I didn't ruin this and have to go a different route. Alright, so you can see I got the hole cut for the chimney. I got the where did I put them? The little legs right here. I'm just gonna cut those straight down the middle, and those will get screwed in on this side. But got a little overzealous with the grinder there, the cutoff wheel. Got a hole there and a real small one over here. Be easy to patch those up. This, I'm just going to take try to find a big self-tapping screw just to throw that down in there, seal that up, maybe put a little RTV in there or something, although I don't think the RTV will hold up under the heat from the fire. So I'm going to cut these. I'm going to screw those in on this side, and we'll come back and show you what that looks like. Alright, got the legs screwed on. You just see I used 4 little self-tapping screws right there. Then I actually ended up cutting the handles in half and making a bigger platform for it to stand on, a little bit more stable that way. So the next part, all of this has taken me, I don't know, 15 minutes. So it goes pretty quick. It's cheap. You don't need to use you don't need a welder unless you screw up and do that right there. And even then, I might just take a little piece of scrap metal like this, grind it down so it's a little bit thinner, and then put it over that. Put it over that and screw it down with some tech screws again. Use what you got. The purpose of these for me is just taking something, scrap parts laying around, and making something out of it. I've seen people that, they're laying out geometry and templates and stuff, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. That's kind of your personality. Everything's got to be perfect. But for me, these are cheap little camp stoves that if they make it a year, cool. If they make it 10 years, cool. So So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out. Actually, I might just cut this whole bottom, this round out right here. I'm going to put maybe I'll just put a big hinge right there, and then put the latch right there. You know, that might be cool. So I'm going to think about that, figure out exactly how I want to do that, and then I'll do it and come back and I'll show you. But again, all I'm going to do, use the cutoff wheel, and then and cut it. You know, put a hinge, you know, a $2 hinge from Home Depot, or if you got something laying around, you know. So if you got a welder, weld it on. I'm using screws because it's easier. I don't know how to weld, so I'll be back. All right, so you can see I went with just the square cutout there, and I was looking for a small hinge because these were kind of getting in the way, and I couldn't find any, and I didn't feel like going to Home Depot right now because I just left there. So I have about 10 of these sitting here in the little closet, and just pop that on there, and you see it works pretty good. There's a little bit of a gap right there, but once you get the chimney right there, no smoke's going to come out right here. So, you know, you don't have to worry about anything there. And again, just reusing spare parts that you got laying around. You know, this isn't, I'm not selling this for $200. I'm just making something to use here at home. So, yeah. Next step, I'm going to put a little door handle on here with a little latch. Probably use some screws, or some some bolts. I'll bolt them in there and heat it up, put a couple of bends in it so that it'll lock, and come back and I'll show you how that's looks when it's all done, and kind of explain it in more detail. Alright, so I got these two little gosh, what are these? 832 3-inch bolts. Got a nut on each side, keeping it in there. Sorry about the autofocus. And so what I'm going to do is this one is going to get heated up, and it's going to get bent up, and then the head of it's going to get cut off, and this one's going to get bent over, and then it'll latch down on that. So this will be backed off a little bit. I'll heat it up here, hit it with the center punch once it's red hot to lock those threads in place. I'll do the same thing there. Well, I got it going here. What I did for the lock, I took a little bolt that, you know, I showed you earlier. I heated it up the nuts, and with a little torch, got one of these right here. Heated it up, squeezed the nut down so it locked the threads, and then bent that, and then took this one and bent it so that it touches the backside and keeps the door from falling inside, and then it won't come forward. So what I'll do with this is I'll actually take a little wooden dowel and put an insert on there, and thread it on there so that it's thick, and my hand doesn't get burned touching this, because this will heat up. But as you can see, it is burning. The chimney, I didn't feel like wiggling with that, getting that piece put in there, so I just got that propped up with a piece of wood for now, and I'll fix that, put that all on right. And then I got to just drill a little hole on the bottom side here for a damper, and put a washer over it, and be able to open it up and keep the airflow going in there, so I can close the door and not have to worry about it going out. And so yeah, but that's it. It's not as, I don't want to say as refined as this one, but this one was built much sturdier, bigger bolts. The hinges are better on it, the dual hinges there. I got a place to cook on top of it, and I just like the design of the upright one better than that one. So that'll probably be the only one I build like that. And I wouldn't use these small little helium tanks for anything other than a small camp stove. That metal's pretty thin, and this one is a little bit thicker. You know, I don't know if you can see that, but that's pretty thin there. So anyways, hope you learned something. I know I did. Probably shouldn't be this close to it with the paint bubbling off of it, but you know, you only live once. So, all right, peace out.